listen, her big crime is that she's contributing to a dynamic where a kid is going to now see women as something to be objectified.
Thank you.
You're going to have this dude, he's going to be contributing to more, he's going to be part of a generation that's going to contribute to more teen pregnancies, more broken homes, more single moms, more abortions. This is what she's doing in her selfishness. So for whatever reason, she justified this, maybe thinking that, hey, he's going to like it, and there's no big crime doing to him because, hey, they've been doing it for a year. But in the long run, this is what happens. We end up with generations of more problems in society.
Thank you.
And
And you know, Dr. Drew, I was looking at this picture, you know, the two women walking out with her. I'm thinking, oh, maybe those are her good friends supporting her. No, that's like her bail bondsman and her lawyer. So she has nobody supporting her, not even her friends.
Well, and they were sort of holding her up as though she couldn't stand.
Right, exactly.
I wonder what's going on there. But here's the deal. Alfonso is absolutely right. But let me propose another aspect of how this happens. When you take a young, developing brain and you overstimulate it, you put it in provocative situations that are excessive, that literally shatter the brain's upper limits of its capacity to regulate, which is what happens in these extreme situations for a 16-year-old male, that they tend to seek these things out repetitively. They can go down a path of sexual compulsion. They can go up down a path of aggression, and their personality function tends to become impaired as it's developing. So the consequences, indeed, as Alfonso said, can be profound socially, but they also can be profound in terms of the character development of the individual.
Well, okay, here's the question, Dr. Drew. If the legal age is 17 years old, how is that going to change within the year? He's 16 now, and he's may be developing all those feelings, but a year isn't going to make much difference.
No,
True, but it's still an authoritative figure. That does a lot to you,
one
too.
thing.
16 years old, there's 16 years old, and then there's emotionally. You know, a 16-year-old is more like 12.
Right.
You know, for them to be able to process what he went through even at 16 or 17 years old, the repercussion of that's still going to be really profound.
A 15-year-old brain is different than a 16-year-old brain is different than a 17-year-old brain.
Right.
It's why we get upset about kids acting out sexually. Ooh, I've got a brain. I've got a brain.
Oh, here comes the brain. But
In fact, wait, let me make a point.
Yeah.
I want to make a point here that during those years, this frontal part, this frontal lobe that we develop to contain impulses and to be able to make judgments and have executive control over our impulses, this part is shut down. This part is shut down. And if you overstimulate the deeper centers down in here, they become hyperstimulated and they start driving the ship without any bridle, without ability to slow it down. And that can affect the rest of their development. So, and that goes on, well, for men, it goes on into their 20s, I'm sorry to say. But it definitely goes on each year it improves. And the earlier the exposure to these provocative situations.
Well, I mean, every 16-year-old boy is going to think that every girl is going to take him in a closet and show her boobs to him. And that's what that teacher did.
It has a social consequence like that, as Alfonso said, towards objectification of women, and it also has an emotional regulatory consequence. These are big concepts, but it does affect these males, and that's why I get so upset. We all do when people go, oh, if I were 16 and had that hot teacher, wouldn't that have been a great thing? Yeah, the 16-year-old does think that way, by the way. Stop thinking like a 16-year-old. You're not. You're adults watching these stories, and the objective reality is it has a profound effect on these kids.